Hello, welcome to the Real Estate Market Watch. I'm Bob Gibbs. In today's segment, we're going to be talking about how homes are valued. Today's guest is Bill Rodriguez. And so, Bill, how long have you been doing appraisals?
I've been appraising over 32 years.
32 years?
In the area.
Really? And where did you get trained to do that kind of thing?
I was trained originally through Fannie Mae. When Fannie Mae had a training program, and started through the process, and then went up to a level 5 appraiser, which meant that we were able to appraise subdivisions, multifamily, commercial.
Wow. Well, as you may imagine, we're getting a lot of questions regarding, what's my home worth, what should we list it for, things like that. And that's why we've asked Bill to come join us. He's an expert appraiser. In fact, he's considered an expert witness in court cases and things. So we're coming right to the top of the heap here. So let's just get into it, Bill. The first question we have is, a lot of times we'll go look at go to talk to someone about listing their home, and typically the question that comes up is, what's my home worth? And we always say, well, we have to look at the comparable sales, and people say, well, what's that? So the question we have is, from an appraiser's perspective, what is a comparable sale?
A comparable sale will be is a sale that would be used as a comparison to the subject. And so what we try to do is in picking comparables is that we look for sales within a defined characteristic of the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So we look for, first we have to define the neighborhood if it's in a subdivision that's pretty defined. And so at that point then we start looking at units of comparison. And units of comparisons are bedroom counts, room counts, and then into square footage of size element. And then we talk, another thing would be garages, pools, any of the amenities that would make what the market reaction would look at.
Okay. A lot of people are looking at some of the online comparison tools like a Zillow. What's your thoughts about those?
Sometimes when I go to properties, people say, well, I looked at my house before you came out, and I saw on Zillow my house is worth X.
Yeah,
and
so just sign here, right?
Right. And I'm supposed to go ahead and use that as the value.
Right.
But the problem with Zillow is that Zillow really doesn't define the neighborhoods of a particular where the property is. And it doesn't make the adjustments if it's on a location per se, if it's on a main arterial. But mainly Zillow does not include a lot of the sales within the immediate neighborhood. They usually expand it outside.
Okay, so it sounds like it's kind of an okay thing to look at if you don't really care about this. It's not a tool you should use to define what your home is worth.
Right.
Okay.
It's definitely not something to say, well, I'm going to sell my house for this. And there's a lot of things that go into it before you really put a value on that property.
Right. Okay. Next question is, and this we get a lot, what can a homeowner do to increase the value of their home before they put it on the market without doing like a major remodel or something like that?
Right. Well, that's a major argument that it typically is what salesman's out there trying to sell you something.
Yeah.
It could be the tin siding guy selling it back in the 50s was the siding. That really increased value. Well, what it did increase it is that it added 4 inches on each side of the house for the siding, and it did increase it in size. But getting into what really increases value, a lot of the questions is that people go, I'm going to remodel my kitchen or redo my bathrooms. But really simple things to repair a house, let's say to put it on the market, I think would be just general cleanup, interior, exterior painting, modernizing the painting. There's new colors that are out there, new color schemes that really enhance the properties and then brings the value up at the same time. And dollar for dollar, it's your best return.
Great. So a lot of times people will say, well, is there any kind of form you can give us, or is there any kind of thing where if I put this much into it, I'll get this much back? Does something like that even exist?
Yeah, well, you see certain things, depending on what quality that you're putting in the kitchens or what quality you're putting in a bathroom, and your neighborhood is, the value of the neighborhood is first, am I going to be, can I afford to put in a $100,000 kitchen when the neighborhood is only a $200,000 or $300,000 neighborhood? It doesn't make sense.
Right.
So you have to look at the improvements as to the percentage of what of the neighborhood. And then at that point, dollar for dollar doesn't really come out on any of the major improvements.
Okay. So basically keep it simple.
Very simple.
Keep the home clean and go from there. Okay, next question. What are some things that you see people doing today that probably don't add as much value as they think they're going to be getting?
Well, today everybody's talking about greenhouses, homes that are energy efficient, passive solar electric systems, which can run, depending on how big your house, $100,000 for your system. And those type of items are long-term investments that are really not going to add a lot of value. Or a swimming pool. I did a house in a community where the people put a couple $100,000 in a pool and rear yard, landscaping. And in this downturn market that we're in, they got, I think an adjustment for the pool was around $25,000.
Wow.
So here they've lost all the money investing in the improvements that did not get any return back.
Wow.
So that happens a lot.
Wow. Okay, last question we have here, and it has to do with location of homes. What would constitute a good location, and conversely, what would you think is a bad location?
Well, when I first got into the appraising in real estate, was that location is probably the first thing that people should look at.
Right.
And I think locations are somewhat overlooked today. You see houses that are located on main feeder streets in the development. People won't really look at and do their investigation of what the traffic flows into a neighborhood, especially if you have kids that are playing and are going to be out in the streets playing. And people don't look into the traffic flows. And I think what we call feeder streets or arterials into the developments are kind of your lesser locations. And then you go into other things that could be impacted would be the school impacts. Where today, I don't think kids know how to walk. I see parents looking at kids pick up drop off.
Right.
And houses that are impacted by where pickup drop offs are. You can't even. I've done appraisals and you can't even drive down the street to go take a picture of a house to look at the location, and it is impacted by the traffic. So I wouldn't want to live, and I think a lot of people wouldn't want to live impacted by schools.
Right, right. Although we do find, I think, and maybe you can talk to this, is the quality of the school.
Oh, definitely.
And its impact on value.
The quality of the schools are so important today. It's definitely due to the fact that parent participation.
Right.
There's areas in Fremont, Mission, San Jose area. It has not been impacted by this downturn market.
Wow.
The property values have slowed down in regards to appreciation, but they're very marketable because of high schools.
Right.
And we have that in Acalanes, in Danville. We have some of the good schools that are out here.
Right.
Test scores are very important. And it's not politically correct to be, as an appraiser, to adjust schools. But I think locations in school districts are very important and people ought to look at and going out to buy and possibly selling our house too.
Great, great. Well, we're running out of time, so if you have any questions about appraisals, you can always contact us at www.therealestatemarketwatch.com, or Bill's company there. They can actually consult with you in terms of appraised value of homes or buildings, things of that nature. What's the best way to get a hold of you, Bill?
We have a website at www.tncappraisal.com, or you can reach me at 925-944-3400. And again, we're here to help the public in any way for questions. We're there. We're available.
Great. Well, thanks, Bill. And that's it for today.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.